The House will come to order. Today, the Pledge of Allegiance will be led by our very own Representative Winter.
Good morning, everyone. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Randall, please call the roll.
Representatives Amable,
She's here.
Armagost, Bacon, Byrd, Bockenfeld, Basenecker, Bottoms, Bradfield, Bradley, Brown, Catlin,
Excused.
Clifford, excused. Doherty, DeGraff, Degree Kennedy, Duran, English, English,
Excused.
Epps,
Mr. Randall, good morning. I am here.
Evans, Evans,
Excused.
Frizzell, Froelich, Froelich,
Excused.
Garcia, Hamrick, Hartsook, Hernandez, Harrod, Harrod,
Excused.
Holtorf, Judah,
Here.
Joseph, Kip, Leader, Lindsay, Linstead, Luck,
Excused.
Lukens, Lynch, Mabry, Marshall, Marshall,
Excused.
Martinez, Morrow, McCormick, McLaughlin, Ortiz,
Here.
Parenti, Puglisi, Ricks, Rudenow, Sirota, Snyder, Soper, Story, Taggart, Tatone, Valdez, Valdez,
Excused.
Velasco,
Present.
Vigil, Weinberg, Weisman, Wilford, Wilford,
Excused.
Representative Froelich is present. Representative Harrod is present. Wilson, Winter, Woodrow. Young. Madam Speaker.
With 56 present, 8 excused, and 1 vacancy, we do have a quorum. Representative Winter.
Good morning, Madam Speaker.
Good morning.
I move the Journal of Friday, January 12, 2024 to be approved as corrected by the Chief Clerk.
Members, you've heard the motion that the journal be approved as corrected by the Chief Clerk. All those in favor say aye. All right, that was well done. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Members, Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to proceed out of order for consideration of resolutions.
Seeing no objection, we will proceed out of order for consideration of resolutions. Mr. Randall, please read the title to House Resolution 24-1002.
House Resolution 1002 by Representative McLaughlin concerning employees and positions for the House of Representatives convened in the second regular session of the 74th General Assembly.
Representative McLaughlin.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the adoption of House Rule 24-1002. Members, this is the resolution naming the partisan and nonpartisan employees to their respective positions, and I ask for a resounding aye vote.
Woohoo! Part of our official business and certainly very important. Seeing no further discussion, the motion before us is the adoption of House Resolution 1002. Mr. Randall, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Representative Ortiz, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Ortiz votes yes. Representative Velasco, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Velasco votes yes. Representative Judah, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Judah votes yes. Representative Epps, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Epps votes yes. Representative Mabry. Please close the machine. With 57 ayes, 7 excused, and 1 vacant, House Resolution 1002 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Please. Representatives Ortiz, Judah, and Velasco co-sponsor. Mr. Randall, Representative Wilford is here. And Representative Epps, thank you. Representative Epps co-sponsors. Representative Wilford. Please close the machine. Members, this is a good moment. Will all the House staff please gather in the well to take the oath? This is for real. This is fun. Thank you all. All right. Oh, what a good group of people. Thank you all for your service and commitment to the House. Everyone, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, and then state your name. do solemnly swear that I will uphold the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Colorado, and that I will faithfully perform the duties of my office to the best of my knowledge and ability. So help me God. Congratulations to our House staff. Woo. We are so grateful for your service. Members, we are continuing with our business today. Mr. Randall, please read the title of Senate Joint Resolution 24002.
Senate Joint Resolution 2 by Senator Rodriguez, also Representative McLaughlin, concerning the officers and employees of the second regular session of the 74th General Assembly.
Representative McLaughlin.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the adoption of Senate Joint Resolution 24002. Members, this is the resolution setting the salary ranges for the House and Senate staff, and I strongly ask for an aye vote. Thank you.
Seeing no further discussion, the motion before us is the adoption of Senate Joint Resolution 002. Mr. Randall, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Representative Judah, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Judah votes yes. Representative Velasco, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Velasco votes yes. Representative Ortiz, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Ortiz votes yes. Representative Epps, how do you vote?
No.
Representative Epps votes no. Members, we are voting. I will ask you all to take your seats. We are voting on Senate Joint Resolution 002. Thank you. Please close the machine. With 57 aye, 2 no, 5 excused, and 1 vacant, Senate Joint Resolution 002 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Representative Judah, co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move House Bill 24-1084 on third reading and final passage.
Members, the motion before us one moment, please.
Mr. Randall, please read the title of House Bill 24-1084.
House Bill 1084 by Representatives Wilford and Young, also Senator Kolker, concerning the repeal and reenactment of the law enacted by House Bill 23B-1002 that increased the earned income tax credit for 2023 and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
The bill has already been moved by the Majority Leader, Representative Wilford.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I believe I need to request permission to run a third reading amendment. I know.
There has been a motion for a third reading amendment. Is there discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Members, we are voting on permission for a third reading amendment. Representatives Epps, Hernandez, Judah, Morrow, Ortiz, Velasco, and Weissman, please vote. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot about the board. That's completely my fault, everyone. I'm sorry. Representative Judah, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Judah votes yes. Representative Epps, how do you vote?
Yes, sir.
Representative Epps votes yes. Representative Ortiz, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Ortiz votes yes. Representative Velasco, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Velasco votes yes. Apologies again. Please close the machine. With 43 aye votes, 16 no votes, 5 excused, and 1 vacant, the motion is passed. Representative Wilford.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move Amendment L001 and ask that it be properly displayed.
The amendment is properly before us. Please proceed. Representative Wilford.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members, this amendment provides further clarity with the legislative declaration and is responsive to feedback that we've heard about the bill thus far. We would ask for a yes vote.
Representative Young.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This amendment emphasizes that the reason for this bill is to make sure that the people who are anticipating this earned income tax credit will receive it in a timely manner, and emphasizes that those who are charged with administering this earned income tax credit will have clarity so they can move forward in a timely manner. I urge an aye vote.
Is there further discussion? Representative Holtorf.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. And I appreciate the amendment. I don't know why we are talking about this from November, December, January. Plenty of time to work on this and get it right if we were going to get it right, and we still haven't got it right in this chamber. But we're trying one more time to swing and get it right. I'm going to speak specifically to a couple lines here. We're going to start at line 11. The filing of that litigation has produced great financial uncertainty for state taxpayers and families eligible for the earned income tax credit. Well, there is no uncertainty because as of now, they're not eligible until the legislature does the hurry-up offense and passes this thing. Because of the missteps during the extraordinary special session. I continue. The filing of that litigation has caused substantial administrative uncertainty for state government regarding the amount of the state earned income tax credit for 2023 and the amount of state revenue that may be expended in the current state fiscal year. Well, of course it does, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. Of course it does, members of this esteemed body, because we're trying to do something at the last minute that we shouldn't be doing. If you wanted to do this, you should have taken care of business in the 2023 year in that session. This should not even be on the table, in my humble opinion, and the fact that it is the main reason I'm going to vote no. Because this is not how you legislate. You have to be thoughtful. You have to have forethought. And if you want to do this stuff ahead of time for the majority, you already have the votes. You're the supermajority. So where did we go wrong last session? I don't know, but we're trying to do something now that we shouldn't be doing, in my humble opinion. Now I'm going to continue. There's another part here. We're worried about the public interest. Compliance with the state constitution. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's a constitutional question whether this complies with the state constitution. And the reason there's litigation is because there is serious and legitimate legal concern that this is unconstitutional. So why do we violate the Constitution when we raise our hand and take an oath to represent the state constitution? I'm confused. I'm really confused. And
Representative
I don't know
Holtorf,
why we're
excuse me
doing
for
this.
just a moment. Members, we are on third reading. If you cannot be in your seats, please take conversations out of the chamber. Representative Holtorf, please continue.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, for your professionalism and your leadership. Now, I'm going to step down. As you know, when I get up here, I have this blood pressure problem when we do things that I think we shouldn't be doing, particularly when they're unconstitutional. And I have a very high tolerance for pain and high blood pressure based on my life experience. But I'm going to turn this over to the person that has the greatest objection, which is the representative from El Paso County. Thank you for your attention, and I will be a strong no, and I encourage everybody to be a strong no if you truly believe in the Constitution of this state as written. Thank you.
Representative Bottoms.
So for clarity's sake, thank you, Speaker Pro Tem. For clarity's sake, this is what is being taken out. On December 28, 2023, a member of the House of Representatives filed a lawsuit alleging that the House of Representatives failed to follow the constitutional requirement set forth in Section 22 of Article 5 of the state constitution that a bill be read at length unless such reading is waived by the unanimous consent of all members of the House of Representatives. And then the legal language with that. Notwithstanding the fact that the procedures followed by the House of Representatives complied with the House rules, which that statement means we shouldn't have done this anyway. If everything was copacetic and above board, why are we even having the conversation? It is in the best interest of the state of Colorado taxpayers to remove any doubt arising. That first statement said there was no doubt from the lawsuit as to the constitutionality of the law enacted, so we're going to repeal and reenact a bill. Now, this is the part we're taking out, which means why are we doing this bill? The reason I'm suing is because my constitutional rights were taken away. So if we're taking the language out that says that my constitutional rights were not tread upon, there was no lawsuit, there's anything, then why are we reenacting this? Why are we repealing and reenacting it? Let it stand on its own. There's no injunction against this law right now. There's no stop on this law right now. Let it go. If that's not necessary in this bill, if we're going to take all of the legal wording for the only reason it's being redone, then there's no reason for it to be redone, and therefore, why are we here? This makes no sense. This is the epitome of circular reasoning. This literally makes no sense. We're just saying, oh, here's that same bill again. Well, that bill's already been voted in, so why are we redoing a bill that's already been voted in unless you leave in what this is taking out? That's the only reason we're standing here. And it keeps coming back down to we are not going by the Constitution in this House. We didn't do it with me, and we don't do it regularly. This is what this is about. When you tell me that because I am suing, we're going to rerun this bill, and then you say, oh, no, we're taking that language out, then why are we doing the bill? Give me one good reason. And you can't say, well, it's any doubt arising because you just took all that language out. There is no doubt. You just took all that language out. There's no doubt arising from a lawsuit that you pretend doesn't exist. Let's take that out. Now, if you just want to know how I'm going to vote on this amendment, I'm probably going to vote yes on this amendment. And you can figure that out legally, how well that does for me in the long run. You're hurting yourselves by playing politics and you don't even know it.
Representative DeGraff.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think the constitutionality, we take a pledge, we take an oath to it, we take a pledge to it. Every morning, we pledge allegiance to that republic, which is defined by that Constitution, which requires the due process. And yet, we'll make an end run around that Constitution just for the sake of expedience. Now, language-wise, in the previous bill, there was the problem of basically inserting a verdict well, the previous bill, the current bill, the verdict was that the representatives complied with the House rules and state law in all respects. So effectively calling the representative from El Paso County's lawsuit a frivolous one, and thereby making the effort to deny a stay in court to have that determined. So now we look at this new wording. The filing of the litigation has produced great financial uncertainty for state taxpayers. So now we're going to legislate by a motion. Well, I mean, that hasn't started. That's just continuation. So we're just going to legislate by a motion. The filing that this litigation has produced great financial uncertainty. The filing, this legislation hasn't produced any uncertainty. The violation of the constitutional rights has produced great financial uncertainty. Now afterwards, we'll talk a little bit more about this amendment. Not about the amendment, about the bill. But this is about the constitutionality. Do you allow? Well, it's about trying to disallow. I don't know if it would even be successful. But the attempt, the effort, is round two in trying to disallow somebody from defending their constitutional rights. And I know it's not a popular document in here, but if you're going to take an oath to it, we probably ought to follow it. I'm not sure how I'll vote on this amendment yet. I like the idea of strengthening the lawsuit. So, yeah, follow the Constitution. Read it.
Representative Soper.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, and it's an honor to serve with you.
It's an honor to serve with you as well.
Members, I rise in opposition of this amendment for a couple of reasons. Most namely, it's not ripe for adjudication. There's a few key terms that are listed in this amendment that you need to look at very, very carefully. First of all, if you turn down to lines 11 through 17, what's being said in the amendment, and I'm sorry, but I have to look over because I don't have a copy in front of me. It talks about the filing of the litigation. Thank you, and Robin's the best. Yeah, that's worth, a shout out. So if you're looking at lines 11 through 17, what's talked about here is that the filing of the lawsuit has produced great financial uncertainty for state taxpayers. First of all, this is speculative. That's one issue that I have there. Second of all, we don't really have a finite number that's listed there. I mean, we're talking about 326,000 taxpayers at the most would even qualify for an earned income tax credit. But that's not the issue that I'm getting at when I talked about ripe for adjudication. The issue really is when it talks a little bit about the financial uncertainty for state government involving the amount of state earned income tax credit for 2023 and the amount the state revenue may be expended in the current fiscal year. If you actually look on the state judiciary's website as far as like where the case is, there is no injunction. So as it stands right now, the law from the special session that has the governor's signature is still in force. It's a real, live, actionable piece of legislation. And what's being written in this amendment presumes that the courts are going to issue an injunction. That's a very bold presumption. I would never attempt to presume what the Colorado courts are going to do, especially recently. But what I can tell you is that this amendment speculates on what the courts are going to do. And we should not be speculating on what the judiciary is going to do. I want us to be accurate. I want us to be factual. And what's written here presumes a certain action by the courts. And that action hasn't happened yet. And I don't think we can as a House of Representatives, guesstimate, speculate, pretend what the courts are going to do, unless there's a crystal ball sitting out there that I haven't seen, and if so, let me buy a lottery ticket. But I would strongly urge members to vote no on this amendment, mainly for the speculation element that's in here, because the courts have not taken action, and it's not for us to be writing what we think the courts are going to do for causing great harm, because the great harm hasn't happened. The bill from the special session is still in force. It has not been barred from action. So I would urge a no vote. Thank you.
Is there further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of Amendment L001 on third reading to House Bill 1084. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Members participating remotely, Representative Ortiz, how do you vote? Representative Ortiz, would you do that one more time? The audio did not come through.
Yes.
Representative Ortiz votes yes. Representative Epps, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Epps votes yes. Representative Velasco, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Velasco votes yes. Representative Judah, if you are with us, please turn on your video. Representative Parenti. Representative Judah is excused. Please close the machine. With 42 aye votes, 16 no votes, 6 excused, and 1 vacant, the amendment is passed. Majority Leader Duran.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I move for the passage of House Bill 24-1084 as amended on third reading and final passage.
Thank you, Madam Majority Leader. At this time, I would like the bill to be read at length.
Second Regular Session 74th General Assembly State of Colorado engrossed. This version includes all amendments adopted on second reading in the House of Introduction LLSNO. 24 to 892.01 Jason Gellender X 4330 House Bill 24 to 1084. House Committees Senate Committees Finance Appropriations. A bill for an act. 101 concerning the repeal and reenactment of the law enacted. 102 by House Bill 23B 1002 that increased the earned 103 income tax credit for 2023 and, in connection. 104 therewith, making an appropriation. Bill summary. Note, this summary applies to this bill as introduced and does not reflect any amendments that may be subsequently adopted. If this bill passes third reading in the House of Introduction, a bill summary that applies to the re-engrossed version of this bill will be available at http://leg.colorado.gov. During the first extraordinary session of the 74th General Assembly, which occurred in November 2023, the General Assembly enacted House Bill 23B 1002, HB 1002, which increased the amount of House second reading unamended January 12, 2024. House sponsorship Wilford and Young. Senate sponsorship Coker. Shading denotes House amendment. Double underlining denotes Senate amendment. Capital letters or bold and italic numbers indicate new material to be added to existing law. Dashes through the words or numbers indicate deletions from existing law. The state earned income tax credit for 2023 from 25% to 50% of the amount of the federal earned income tax credit as a means of refunding excess state revenues for the 2022 to 23 state fiscal year that TABOR requires to be refunded in the 2023 to 24 state fiscal year. On December 28, 2023, a member of the House of Representatives, House, filed a lawsuit alleging that the House failed to follow the constitutional requirement that the House read a bill at length unless such reading is waived by the unanimous consent of all House members present when enacting HB 1002 and that HB 1002 therefore must be declared null and void. To remove any doubt arising from the lawsuit regarding the constitutionality of the law enacted by HB 1002, the bill repeals and reenacts that law. 1. Be it enacted by the General Assembly of the State of Colorado. 2. Section 1. Legislative Declaration. 1. The General Assembly 3 finds and declares that, 4a, during the first extraordinary session of the 74th 5 General Assembly, which occurred in November 2023, the General 6 Assembly enacted House Bill 23B 1002, which, in order to refund excess 7 state revenues for the 2022 to 23 state fiscal year that are required by the 8 Taxpayers' Bill of Rights, Section 20 of Article X of the state constitution, 9 to be refunded in the 2023 to 24 state fiscal year, increased the amount of 10. the state earned income tax credit for 2023 from 25% to 50% of the 11 amount of the federal earned income tax credit. 12b. On December 28, 2023, a member of the House of 13 Representatives filed a lawsuit alleging that the House of Representatives 14 failed to follow the constitutional requirement set forth in Section 22 of 15 Article V of the state constitution, that a bill be read at length unless such 16 reading is waived by the unanimous consent of all members of the House 17 of Representatives present when enacting House Bill 23B 1002, and that 18 House Bill 23B 1002 therefore must be declared null and void, and -2, 1084. 1c. Notwithstanding the fact that the procedures followed by the two House of Representatives complied with House rules and state law in all three respects, it is in the best interest of the state and Colorado taxpayers to remove any doubt arising from the lawsuit as to the constitutionality of 5 the law enacted by House Bill 23B 1002 by repealing and reenacting that 6 law and thereby ensuring that the intent of the General Assembly in 7 enacting House Bill 23B 1002 is realized, and that taxpayers who claim 8 the state earned income tax credit and the Department of Revenue can rely 9 with certainty on the law when filing income tax returns, and 10 administering the state income tax. 11 Section 2. In Session Laws of Colorado 2023, First 12 Extraordinary Session, repeal and reenact 39-22-123.5, 2.8, Colorado 13 Revised Statutes, as added by Section 1 of Chapter 3, as follows: 1439-22-123.5. Earned Income Tax Credit, Legislative Declaration. 15. Repeal. 2.8a, for income tax years commencing on or after January 16, 1st, 2023, but before January 1, 2024, only, the rate of 17 credit allowed for the resident individuals described in 18 subsections 2, 2.5, and 2.7 of this section, respectively, is 19 increased from 25% to 50% of the 20 federal credit described in the respective subsections 2, 2.5, 21, and 2.7 of this section. 22b. The General Assembly finds and declares that 23 increasing the rate of the credit as specified in subsection 2.8a, 24 of this section reduces the amount of state revenues, as defined 25 IN section 24-77-103.66 c, for the 2023 to 24 state fiscal year, and 26 IS therefore, after excess state revenues for the 2022 to 23 state 27 fiscal year are refunded pursuant to sections 39-3-209, 39-3-210. 3, 1084. 1. And any other refund mechanism provided for in law other than 2. The refund mechanism provided for in Part 20 of Article 22 of this 3 title. A reasonable method of refunding a portion of any remaining excess state revenues for the 2022 to 23 state fiscal 5 year that are required to be refunded in the 2023 to 24 state fiscal 6 year in accordance with Section 27d of the State 7 Constitution. 8. Section 3. In Session Laws of Colorado 2023, First 9 Extraordinary Session, repeal and reenact Section 2 of Chapter 3 as 10 follows. 11 Section 2. Appropriation. 1. For the 2023 to 24 state fiscal year, $1,251,483 is appropriated to the Department of Revenue. This appropriation 13 is from the General Fund. To implement this act, the department may use 14 this appropriation as follows: 15a, $23,175 for tax administration IT system, GenTax, support; 16b, $13,792 for use by taxation services for personal services; 17c, $14,000 for use by the Executive Director's Office for personal; 18 services related to administration and support, and 19d, $516 for the purchase of document management services. 22. For the 2023 to 24 state fiscal year, $516 is appropriated to the 21 Department of Personnel. This appropriation is from reappropriated funds 22 received from the Department of Revenue under subsection 1d of this 23 section. To implement this act, the Department of Personnel may use this 24 appropriation to provide document management services for the 25 Department of Revenue. 26 Section 4. Safety Clause. The General Assembly finds, 27 determines, and declares that this act is necessary for the immediate 4, 1084. 1. Preservation of the public peace, health, or safety, or for appropriations for 2. The support and maintenance of the departments of the state and state 3. Institutions 5, 1084.
Members, please return to your seats. Is there further discussion on House Bill 1084? Representative DeGraff.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's a privilege to be here with you this morning.
Apologize, I didn't hear you, but if you said something kind, I return the gesture.
I appreciate that. Thank you. All right. I think it's interesting that on day one, Governor Polis talked about defending our beloved Tabor.
Representative DeGraff, I'm sorry. I really just want to catch you right off the start here to the substance of House Bill 1084, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yes, absolutely to the substance of this, because the substance of this bill is an attack on Tabor. It's a refund mechanism, ultimately, to turning the taxpayer Bill of Rights into funding another social program. It's not a matter of do people with the that would merit the earned income tax credit need relief from the unending piling on of bills that are paid by the people of Colorado, bills that force jobs out of Colorado, bills that, so does anybody need relief from those? Absolutely. But what we were called to the extraordinary tax and spend session was for, which is replacing this bill that violated my constituents' constitutional rights. And I think it's pretty evident that that happened based on the need for not only just putting a verdict in a piece of legislation, but then putting a verdict about a verdict in an amendment of a piece of legislation. So I find it interesting that we're speculating on the nature of what the court will decide, because here it is. It's deciding it. So what are we looking at? I think the last one, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think it was 185,000 divided by 326, 567, one-time relief if everybody got that, as opposed to the shipping and handling charges that the government would do. So it's not going to be that one-time good deal. So maybe about $500. What we looked at was tax relief. What we were called for was tax relief. Relief from that percentage that is extracted by force from everybody's paycheck. And then the only thing that you can come up with as a means of relief from the money extracted by force by this body is to give a select few people about $500 one time. It's kind of like that $30 million, that vaunted $30 million that would go out to about 600,000 people. Much applauded, much self-patting on the back, and that would be about $50 per person. $50 per person was considered the tax relief, because you can't give tax relief. And anytime we talk about tax relief, it's like sunshine in a Dracula movie. It's just this cringing. The people of Colorado were promised tax relief. Now we know that Prop HH did not yield tax relief. It was just more spending. Fortunately, the people of Colorado saw through that.
Representative DeGraff, this bill is not about Proposition HH. Please stick to House Bill 1084.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. But I would say that this bill is a subsection of Prop HH because it was given to us in a piecemeal fashion when Prop HH failed at the voice of the voters. And this bill is, again, it is taking of the tax refund, and not only just rerouting it to a select number of people, and then having a mechanism that we really don't know what that's going to be, of how do you do an earned income tax credit, which is based on a federal earned income tax credit, but it can't be filed federally because there's no Social Security number, but it's everybody that would have normally qualified for a earned income tax credit if they had a Social Security number, but we don't know who those are. So then you have the EITCs, or you have the basically the cards, and then like how are those? So this bill comes with, this bill, literally a bill for about $185 million, comes with a lot of unknowns. And we should be talking about those unknowns, and we should be talking about how to do it. Now, we know it's going to pass because tax relief was never on the table, never a consideration. And the assault on our taxpayer Bill of Rights will continue. And in this case, $500 this year to a select group of people for the sake of, because it feels good. And again, it's not because they don't deserve relief from the ever-increasing amount of money that's extracted by force by this body. They do. Everybody does in Colorado. But this is just, this whole bill highlights the unseriousness of this body.
Representative DeGraff?
Yes, sir.
When you say things like because it feels good or unseriousness, that is triggering Rule 23 that talks about avoiding personalities. Please stick to the substance of the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The substance of this bill is an attack on Tabor. It's designed to, it's a social program. It's designed to give precedent to further attacks on our taxpayer Bill of Rights. And it has absolutely no bearing on the purpose that it was set out to, which was tax relief. This has nothing to do with tax relief, which was the purpose of our extraordinary tax and spend session at the behest of Governor Polis. So whether you're serious or not, I don't know. But this bill violates our taxpayer Bill of Rights.
Representative Taggart.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. It's an honor and a privilege to work with you.
It's an honor and a privilege to work with you as well.
I just want to call attention to the fiscal note and two questions and two concerns I have about the fiscal note. The first one has to do, which was prepared for us by the Legislative Council staff. And the first one has to do with the fiscal note status. And it specifically says the fiscal note reflects the introduced bill. Well, if we approve this bill, the introduced bill is repealed. And I'll say that again, it's repealed. Therefore, the fiscal note should, in fact, have all the numbers estimated associated with this program. If you repeal something, it's gone. So you can't come back later and say the fiscal note reflects the introduced bill. Those two statements are in conflict with one another. The second is more of a question, and I'll read this for you. The Colorado Earned Income Tax Credit is available to taxpayers who claim the federal EITC and to taxpayers who would otherwise be able to claim the federal EITC but who are ineligible because they do not have a valid Social Security number. When you put that in a fiscal note, and we just did an amendment on clarity, how does that provide any clarity? The last I knew from a calculation standpoint, if 50% of zero is zero. So how does an individual that doesn't have a Social Security number, that is in fact filing state, how do they go about calculating this credit? Or how does their accountant go about calculating this credit? And how does the Department of Revenue determine if that's accurate or not? Because the calculation is predicated on 50% of the federal EITC. So as a business person, I can't figure out how this is going to work from a fiscal standpoint. It just doesn't make sense to me. Thank you.
Representative Weinberg.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. It's an honor to serve with you.
It's an honor to serve with you as well.
Fellow members of the body, I was in committee on this one. I have a lot of concerns. A lot of things came up during committee. One thing very specific is we have a lot of undocumented citizens entering into the Denver region that will be eligible for this refund. I don't know why we would ever put that burden on our taxpayer. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. TABOR refunds are there in place because of overtaxation and returning the money to us, the people. When we have an influx, when I have the mayor of Denver saying he's going to cut 15% of government staff because they can't afford what's happening, now we're just going to release funds that could be going to people that are currently paying taxes in this state? I have a problem with this. We have another concern. There is no way to understand whether this is going to go back to a criminal or not. I found out in committee that there is no background check system in place, but there is a background check in place for us, for citizens in the state. If you commit a crime in the state, you will not be eligible for the refund. But undocumented coming in now, if they have committed a crime outside the United States within a certain day period, they will be eligible for this refund. How does it make sense? No, it's absolutely true. I do not understand why we would write any legislation that would involve undocumented citizens entering into this country, especially if undocumented citizens are from the criminal nature. I myself come from South Africa. I'm truly concerned when we write legislation that doesn't help the core citizenry of our state. This does not help my city, and this does not help people in Loveland. I urge a no vote on this one. It got shut down the first time. It's being railroaded through again the second time. There's clearly a problem with this bill. I urge a no vote.
Representative Winter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. When I spoke in November, it was very simple. I'm just going to say it again. The 9 counties in southeastern Colorado and House District 47 voted no to have their TABOR refunds attacked whatsoever, and this is just a continuation of that, so I will be a strong no vote.
Is there further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the passage of House Bill 1084 as amended on third reading and final passage. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Members participating remotely, Representative Ortiz, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Ortiz votes yes. Representative Judah, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Judah votes yes. Representative Epps, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Epps votes yes. Representative Velasco, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Velasco votes yes. Please close the machine. With 43 aye votes, 17 no votes, 4 excused, and 1 vacant, House Bill 1084, as amended, is passed on third reading and final passage. Co-sponsors. Members participating remotely, Representative Velasco, co-sponsors. Representatives Judah and Ortiz, co-sponsor. Please close the machine.
Members, It is a good day after a snow day. We do have a few announcements and introductions. And as members are coming down to the well to speak, I do want to remind members to please sign up. This announcement form will be up here near the copier. Please be sure to record any requested announcements or introductions so that we can properly insert those into our schedule for the day. Representative Wilson.
Madam Speaker, I have been approved for an excused absence tomorrow, January 18th.
Thank you. Representative Soper.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have two announcements. I've been approved to be excused tomorrow afternoon and Friday. And then the second announcement is for all the members on the Committee on Legal Services. Don't forget, we are having a meeting tomorrow morning at 8:15 in House Committee Room 112. We're going to be electing a new chair and vice chair. We're also going to be reviewing and readopting our committee rules. We're going to receive an update on litigation and a schedule for the rest of the session and any other business we may add.
Thank you. Representative McLaughlin.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have 3 announcements to make today. The first is about CASE, Colorado Association of School Executives. They are a member organization representing more than 3,600 school and district leaders from nearly every one of Colorado's 178 school districts. Its members include superintendents, principals, and assistant principals, CFOs, human resource administrators, technology leaders, special education directors, and many, many more. They come from districts as small as rural, as Deer Trail School District, to as large and urban as Jefferson County Public Schools. Their membership is diverse, and what every CASE member shares is the drive and passion for supporting students and providing an outstanding public education. Members, please check your emails and text messages. You may have a constituent from a school district in attendance at CASE Day today at the Capitol. And they will have a seat and invite you to join them for lunch at the Knights of Columbus on 1555 Grant Street. School leaders would love the opportunity to talk to their legislators about the successes and challenges their districts are facing. Number 2, education has smart hearings today. We are in the Old State Library starting at 10:30. Please be prompt, and we'll get going, and we will guarantee to be smarter when we're done with this, I hope. And the third one is I have been given permission to have February 1st and 2nd off, so thank you very much, and I am done.
Thank you. Representatives McCormick and Holtorf.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I am here again today to request that all of you pay attention to what's happening at the National Western Complex this week and next week as well, that tonight there's opportunity for a rodeo and a dinner with the conservation districts. And then on Friday, the big fun, the big fun on Friday is an auction for the kids that have worked so hard all year to bring their animals to the stock show. And we, as the state legislature, get to go there and auction. We get to actually hold the paddle and to bid. Thank you for that word I was missing. To bid on the animals, and it's not for us to actually buy the animals, it's for us to provide scholarship money for these kids to go further in their education or whatever it is that they're saving money for. So we are here again to collect funds from you as you see fit, either cash. Thank you for the cash here today, or checks written to NWSS Junior Livestock Sale. That stands for National Western Stock Show, Junior Livestock Sale. And thank you.
Representative Holtorf.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. You can put that right up there, ma'am. So we're going to do a fundraiser, and I wanted to auction off Representative McCormick. So give me $10 now, $10, $25, $25, $50 right there, 50, 50, now give me 50, $100, $100, $100, hey, $100 over here.
Sorry, Rep. Holtorf. Yeah, wrong arena.
Darn. I tried, Madam Speaker. But truly, As Representative Valdez knows, the National Western Stock Show brings tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars indirectly to Denver and the Denver metro area. It's an economic impact deluxe. It bridges the rural-urban divide because country folks get to come into the big city and show their livestock and all their exhibits. So it's a big deal for us country folk as well. And I really, really want you to think about contributing. These kids are doing great things. We just raised $70 this morning right now. Thank you to my good friend from Manitou Springs. Please contribute because it goes to a great cause, and we've been doing this literally for decades. So thank you for your leadership in the Ag Committee, ma'am, and you are just the best.
Thank you both. Representative Byrd, sorry.
Good morning, members. I am here to let you know if you are a member of the House Education Committee or if you are a member of the House Energy and Environment Committee, you have a SMART Act hearing right upon adjournment, and your Joint Budget Committee will be visiting you for a portion of that hearing. I'm going to invite you to bring these nice books that hopefully you found on your desks. This is a summary of the governor's November 1st budget request, and our committee will be there to walk you through the document and show you how to use this to best understand what has been proposed for next year's budget. So we will see you then.
Thank you. Representative Tatone.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Tomorrow morning, 7:30, Joint Technology Committee will be upstairs in the Senate committee rooms. We'll be talking about some things that you won't be able to hear in executive committee, but that's okay. You should tune in for the part that's going to be public and learn about some technology.
Thank you. Representative Kipp.
Thank you and good morning. Members of the Energy and Environment Committee, upon adjournment, we are going to be meeting for SMART Act hearing over in the Old State Library right across the way. Hope to see you there. Thanks.
Representative Ricks.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, I have permission to be excused from tomorrow through next Thursday.
So approved. Madam Majority Leader. Representative Story.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Just wanted to give notice that tomorrow the Capital Development Committee will be meeting at 8:30 a.m. in Senate Committee Room 357. See members there and others who wish to attend.
Thank you. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move the House stand in recess until later today.
Seeing no objection, the House will stand in recess until later today.